Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
And we're a little bit more non-linear than usual right now.
Not that it actually matters, for the record.
It really does not matter. I had to shuffle a couple of things around just because, like, Season 1 of G1 does have a few direct follow-up episodes. That kind of stops happening after a while. But, like, it's everyone stay calm. It'll be fine. Just pay attention to what numbers I put in the Twitter posts.
Yeah, literally, you would have had no idea if we hadn't told you. There's no continuity between. I mean, there is continuity between the episodes we've separated out, but like, anyway,
it's very limited. It's mostly just characters being places.
Right. Yeah. There's one character who we're getting to next week, right?
Yes. It's mostly him who's causing the problem.
my favorite boy.
Yes.
Like, he's such a good boy, but we'll get to him next week.
But this week we are covering 2 episodes: Divide and Conquer and SOS Dinobots.
These 2 episodes, by the way, we had the question last week about, or 2 weeks ago, I guess now, about my edits recommendations when I talked about the Dr. Smooth videos. These 2 episodes are the prime bases of my 2 favorite Dr. Smooth videos, SOS Wheeljack and Shockwave's Burden. So I quote SOS Wheeljack constantly. There are so many things I say that just like don't have any context outside of it. So highly recommend watching that one to get like 50% of my Transformers references.
Yeah, so I will have to watch those after. I don't think I've seen those. It's been a while since I watched any.
Really? Oh my god, they're so good. My favorite one, can I just say my favorite line from SOS Wheeljack is at one point, Optimus is going around being like, why did you make giant fire-breathing dinosaurs and then not give them brains big enough to tell their own heads from their asses? And Wheeljack goes, simple brains, Optimus. And Ironhide replies by saying, how would you like a mouthful of liquid nitrogen, you asshole? And there's a pause and Wheeljack goes, I don't even have a mouth.
It's true, he doesn't.
It's so good.
So we start off here on Divide and Conquer, and I just have a few questions about this opening here. Oh, she's not done.
Oh, I have questions. I will say Divide and Conquer as a whole is the rare Starscream W episode.
It is. He's in rare form this episode. He really doesn't do anything stupid. He mostly just stands there and sneers at Megatron's failures.
He is mixed between successful and neutral. He starts off, the Elite Trine are on a Energon gathering mission, and it goes very well.
Yes.
I want to be clear. It goes very well, and even when the Autobots show up, it goes pretty well.
It goes very well. Now, we should say the place they are raiding is a factory which is making weapons to fight the Decepticons, and
There's literally, like, Public Enemy #1 posters of Megatron plastered around this factory. It's so funny.
This is the enemy, and we see later that these fucking guns they're making don't do shit. So, like, what are you guys even doing? Like, is this just like a fucking job program to give people something to do? Because these guns are not going to be effective.
Yeah.
Also, Chip is here.
And also Chip is here.
He's under the apprenticeship of another scientist who is never named. He just, like, goes from scientist to scientist, I guess.
Yeah, he's passed around.
He's hanging out.
He's the party genius. You've heard of Party Bottoms. He's the party genius.
Great.
Passed around.
the elite try and show up, and there's a few things here. For it's G1 is a series of give and take. For it gives us Skywarp actually using his fucking teleportation ability.
Well,
However,
it doesn't.
However,
It doesn't give Skywarp using his teleportation ability. It gives us Starscream using Skywarp's teleportation ability.
they got really confused about who was who in this episode, because at certain points, all of them are colored like Starscream. Skywarp is colored like Starscream. Thundercracker is colored like Skywarp. Skywarp is colored like Thundercracker, and then he's colored like Starscream in the next scene. It's hard to figure out who's who, really.
It's like playing one of those games on the street with the ball and the cup with someone who's obviously cheating.
Yes, it's just
find the Skywarp.
It's
Sucker, that's Starscream, you idiot.
It's like, oh wait, no, I know that one. He teleports. It's the only way to tell who's who is if one of them teleports.
Yeah. So there's like they like handily beat the humans' asses. That's not surprising and not that much of an accomplishment.
No.
But Starscream, opens up a line to Megatron. And as he does that, they like finally send an they send an SOS to Teletran 1. And back at like Autobot HQ, they're just like, they can't find the Decepticons. It's so funny. They're like trying to find the Decepticons, and then they're like, found them. They just attacked someone.
So yeah, you gotta be more proactive, guys. I mean, like, I understand it's hard to keep track of them in their underwater base, but also they're just running up and taking shit, and you're just like,
I mean,
what are they even doing?
They don't have a communications team.
They don't.
Their
Blaster
scout
hasn't gotten here yet.
Yeah, Blaster's not here yet. Their scout is fucking Bumblebee and Hound, I guess. Their scouts are Bumblebee and Hound, and their spec ops are Jazz and Mirage. Like, they're not playing with a full chess set.
No, they aren't. What they're doing, I don't know what anyone else is doing, but Optimus is out on the road looking... Okay, so the way they keep changing how the space bridge works. Now, how the space bridge works is that it's just a thing that happens, and you have to, like, build a space bridge receiver in the place where it appears, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very unclear on what exactly is going on with the space bridge. Optimus can't find shit. But this is when they get the distress call, and he rolls up there all alone.
Well, he's like, everyone get over there, but I'm closest, so I'll meet you there.
Yeah, and I like that Megatron literally has to tell Starscream, "Hey, gang up on him." Like, it's that would not be the normal.
Yeah, I want to talk about this conversation. So as Optimus is rolling up, he interrupts Starscream in the middle of his conversation with Megatron, and Megatron's like, how'd it go? And Starscream's like, really well, actually. Like, we got all of it. Like, we sucked the energy drive of this. We're good to go. We didn't meet any real resistance. Fuck yeah. And then as he's saying it, he hears Optimus comes up, and just through clenched teeth he goes, Autobots. And Megatron's like, all right, assholes. Like, there's 3 of you. Go get his ass. And to be fair, they beat Optimus's ass in the quote retreats.
They do. Does Thundercracker actually use his ability here?
He doesn't. They just all shoot him. So, I mean, Skywarp doesn't even use his ability against Optimus. He just shoots him while flying. But there are 3 of them, and they actually are quite large, and they are the elite Trine. So,
however, the only reason that they actually beat Optimus is because one of them shoots a random wall-mounted supercomputer, and Optimus has to shield Chip and unnamed scientist number 47 from getting blown up.
I mean, they might have won anyway. They blasted him.
Yeah, they did. He takes a lot of shots.
The last thing that happens is the 3 of them shoot him at once in the chest, and he goes flying through a wall.
Yeah, he gets fucked up super bad. The rest of the Autobots show up, but by that point, the Seekers are already gone.
Yeah. So, well,
like-
I want like, I actually think this is really interesting because Megatron, like the rest of the Autobots show up, and Megatron's like, Starscream, do not fight them. Take the Energon and leave. You're good. And
because he knows
Starscream's
that they
like,
will. That it's a simple numbers game. You see,
right? Exactly. And Starscream is like, yeah, you got it. We're on our way. And
just take the
they
fucking
all pack
W,
up.
man.
Yeah, and he does. Again, rare W episode for Starscream, who either does pretty well or completely neutrally.
You know who's not doing pretty well or neutrally? Optimus Prime, who's on the ground dying.
Yeah, this is what, Death Counter 3 for
Yeah,
Optimus?
like he gets super fucked up in this episode, which is very funny. And like he as the Autobots run over, he's like giving off so much heat that the fucking air is warping around him. It's like that scene from Armada where Smokescreen gets fucking perforated by the Requiem blaster.
It's also like that scene in the first Optimus death, where we once again get to see the world's oldest man with a slip disc try to transform.
God,
it's
at
not
least
quite
it doesn't.
as long.
It doesn't
Yeah,
take
it's not,
30 fucking seconds this time.
It's not 60 full seconds long, but
and
it
he
is
doesn't
like the
grunt constantly. He just goes. He just like talks about what's wrong, and he doesn't go. Ugh.
It's honestly kind of worse. You can really hear Peter Cullen slipping into his Eeyore voice.
Yeah, he kind of is.
You can really hear him going, "Life is suffering," and like, and Ratchet's like, "Hey, Optimus, I have bad news. You're dying, and like, we can't get you out of here on your own, without your help. So you need to transform." He's like, "Okay."
I like the bit where he like very dramatically asks Wheeljack to fix him. He like grabs Wheeljack's hand and is like, "Please, fix me.
Can you fix me, Doc?" And Wheeljack's like, "I'm not that kind of doctor, but we'll see what we can do." This is also 2 episodes of Wheeljack just doing really ridiculous experiments without any regards for safety whatsoever.
Yeah, this is the fucking Wheeljack and Ratchet science hour this episode. They do some open heart surgery and then they play God.
No OSHA, no HIPAA on Cybertron.
Absolutely not. So the Starscream comes back and he's like, "Yeah, we totally fucking killed Optimus." And Megatron's like, "Okay, did you make sure though? Did you check to see his fucking laser core was snuffed out?" Which, by the way, another excellent G1 anatomy thing. This was before sparks were a thing that would not be properly established until Beast Wars. So here it's laser cores, which is also a pretty cool word. So then anyway, Megatron sends Laserbeak out to make sure.
Yeah.
He's like, "Listen, Starscream, I appreciate your efforts, but I know who I can really count on to murder people in cold blood."
Well, I mean, yes and no. There's like this weird scene with him and Laserbeak.
Yeah, he like
Laserbeak
threatens him.
Yeah, so like Laserbeak, so he's like, "All right, Soundwave, like send Laserbeak out," and Soundwave, like, Laserbeak transform, eject. And Laserbeak sort of like hesitates, and Starscream looks at him and goes, "It looks like Laserbeak's a little scared to go to the Autobot base." And Megatron's like, "Well, he should be more scared of what I'm going to do to him if he doesn't." And then Laserbeak flies off, but it's like, all right, that was a little aggro.
Yeah, it's weird. Normally, Laserbeak doesn't question any orders, and also normally, Megatron doesn't say anything bad about Laserbeak. In fact, he usually uses Laserbeak to like fucking put Starscream down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are his stepkids, so
So Laserbeak, thankfully for Laserbeak, Brawn has peripheral vision issues, and also I don't think he can feel anything on his neck. I think he's too buff, because Laserbeak literally just drops onto him.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Krogan.
He is Krogan shaped. He's like,
yeah,
very
he doesn't
squat
really
and
have,
round.
and he doesn't really have a neck.
No, so presumably he's just too fucking thick right there. He can't feel a cassette tape dropping onto him from the ceiling. Or see
and no
it.
one else sees a cassette tape on his shoulder.
They also don't see Laserbeak transform and fly up into the corner of the room, which you guys got to get your fucking eyes checked. Like, I know you're all worried about Optimus, who is currently lying on the operating table with his fucking rib cage opened up, of course. By the way, no Matrix, obviously. It was somewhere else. Optimus was keeping it in his safe for later.
He mailed it to Hot Rod for the weekend.
Yeah. He got injured and he's like, "Ooh, I better put the Matrix in my special Matrix carrying case so it doesn't get hurt by any of the surgery." And it's a good thing too, because what happens is,
whoa, Laserbeak be upon you.
This, like, literally, it just keeps fucking happening. What happens is Laserbeak shows Megatron what's going on. Megatron goes, "Oh, fucking sick, kill that dude. Just shoot him in the chest right now." And he does. Yeah. And nobody does anything.
Yeah, he shoots him and gets out, and everyone's like, all right, we need to get away from Optimus because he's going to explode, and Optimus self-destructs.
He fucking, like, when we say explode, the entire screen is taken up by his explosion.
But he's fine, but he's dead.
I literally have he's fine, but he's dying. He's beautiful, but he's dying.
Somehow he survives being exploded from the inside out. But he's on his last legs now, and he's essentially losing blood fast.
Yeah, his energy levels are low, and they can't. Basically, they need jumper cables.
He's like hemorrhaging, basically, except his energy instead of blood. And they need to replace a very specific part.
A Cosmotron.
A Cosmotron. It's so stupid. By the way, Spike throughout this entire episode has been just the whiniest little asshole.
Is he gonna be okay?
It's like someone just didn't explain death to this fully grown
Spark plug, your son's 19. Sit him down and explain where fucking Fido went 5 years ago, man. Come on. Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't want my truck to die.
Show him Old Yeller, for the love of God.
God. Yeah, he's just cry typing constantly in the corner while the Autobots like, shut the fuck up, man. We're trying to work here.
So everyone, the situation is Wheeljack's like, I need to replace this part, and Spike's like, then replace it, and Wheeljack's like, it's not that simple, Spike. The only other place that this part exists is on my lab on Cybertron, which is A, only possible to get to by the space bridge, which Decepticons have control over, B, guarded by Decepticons on the other side, and C, was locked by Decepticons over the course of the war. So even if we could get there, it'd be a struggle to get into to begin with. And Huffer really lives up to his name. Because Huffer goes on and on about how hopeless the entire situation is. He's like, it's over. He's dead. We're dead. Until we get the first of what is one of my favorite shots that comes up in G1 of someone just putting their hand over someone else's mouth.
Yes.
Which is, in this case, it's Ironhide who just reaches down and covers Huffer's mouth.
Shut the fuck up.
Which is really funny in any circumstances, but particularly funny with G1's janky animation.
Yeah. So Chip is like, oh, well, yeah, I know you guys have been trying to find the space bridge, but did you ever consider using the hyper-intelligent supercomputer you have built into your ship? And everyone goes, huh, well, boy, why didn't we think of that?
Teletron's not just a computer, he's a friend.
Yeah, you just ask Teletran where the space bridge is. Chip finds it in 20 seconds. He's like, oh, there it is.
Spike has the most obnoxious line here, where he's like, wow, it's just like Sherlock Holmes with floppy disks, is it, Spike?
Shut the fuck up, kid. I hate.
Is that what it's like?
Ugh.
He's pretty intolerable in this episode. I usually don't have a big issue with Spike, but he's pretty awful in this one.
he's either just whining or spouting about how cool dinosaurs are, and that's it. That's all he does. And listen, I can appreciate the second one. in certain situations. But so
I mean, it's this episode in particular. I don't
Yeah.
particularly mind him. Next episode, he's just being him. But this episode, I was like, you need to stop
I
talking.
do think it's really funny when he grabs a gun and goes to shoot Decepticons. So that's really funny.
It's like, you fucking moron.
So,
Meanwhile, at the Decepticons,
Yeah, they're like, oh, fuck, we have so many Energon cubes. Hey, Shockwave, my man, we've got some stuff for you, my boy. And he's like, great. Send him up.
introducing the secret fourth component of Reflector.
Yeah, who the fuck is this guy?
Rip, we never knew you.
Like, I love that someone's like, someone's like, hey, Starscream, don't we need someone to pilot that? And he's like, you're right. And he just grabs this guy. And
So
puts
I
him
need
in
to be
there.
very clear. This is the secret fourth part of Reflector. He looks like Spyglass, I think, is the one that he looks like. But the three parts of Reflector are all working further away on the space bridge. They aren't near Starscream. So there's just this fourth part of Reflector. Who, yeah, they're like, Starscream doesn't need a pilot. It's like, sure it does. And he just picks this guy up and puts him in the seat. While the guy's going, wait, no, please don't do this to me.
He's like, good luck, motherfucker. Bye. Like, they really need...
These were good episodes.
They really need to find some better generics than just more reflectors, because that's not threatening.
I mean, the other option is Rainbow Rumbles.
Oh, that would be so much funnier though. Imagine if there were just a bunch of shitty 12-year-olds running around.
Yeah, he really, like, I feel like in the next episode firms up his age as, like, around 12. But anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fourth Reflector gets shot into space.
And Shockwave picks up the Energon cubes. He does not acknowledge this guy at all.
He survives, though.
He does. He gets there just fine.
Maybe we'll see a new camera attachment. Maybe he's like a video attachment.
Like, look, Mr. Reflector number 4, like, it's not the very first space bridge test. We know how to get there now. You'll be fine. Stop whining.
So here's the thing, it's not Reflector, actually, because he doesn't speak in unison with the others.
Yeah, he's their cousin. There's like a different 3-person camera combiner that have slightly different names, and they're just off screen all the time.
Yeah, he's part of Polaroid.
Yeah. So the Autobots they're going to send a crack team up to infiltrate Cybertron, and here's who it is. It's the fucking Troll Slayers. We've got Ironhide, we've got Trailbreaker.
Shockwave gets trolled.
He really does. We got Ironhide.
Wait, can someone please redraw Shockwave as the Tails panel? Which is especially good because Shockwave doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah, I will give whoever manages to convey that properly $10. You can redraw Shockwave doing that face somehow. So it's Ironhide, Trailbreaker, Blue Streak, Bumblebee, and Chip.
Now, when I want to be very clear, when Chip uses Teletran 1 to identify where they should go, it's Bumblebee who says, Teletran and Chip you sure are a hot duo. So now I have a Chip Teletran 1 OTP.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They attack. Now, here's where Megatron really starts taking some L's. Because they attack the space bridge, and he calls, hey, Starscream, let them win.
Right, yeah, so everyone is like...
Why?
I mean...
Why does he... I understand that I guess he has a lot of faith in his fucking Rainmakers, but like...
Which is misplaced, as we see.
Why
I know.
let them go to... Just kill them.
I know. This one, again, Starscream makes a lot of errors in this show, but he is, like, unequivocally correct throughout this episode.
Yes. Also, another very fun thing, Megatron is called Starscream and says, let him win. And then immediately, the next shot, he is colored like Thundercracker.
Yes. Yeah.
For the rest of the fight.
To the point that I was like, I actually I was like looking away. I think I was typing down a note while he actually made the call. I just assumed it was Thundercracker for that fight.
Like you would have to,
I didn't think it was Starscream.
He doesn't say anything, and unless you heard Megatron address him as such, it's like, well, that's just Thundercracker.
Yeah, that's just Thundercracker. Reflector gets his ass handed to him. Rumble gets his
Badly.
ass handed to him.
You know, I want to mention one yet again. Some gadgets do make appearances. Some gadgets and abilities show up in this episode. For one, Ironhide's using his chemical sprayer.
Yes, his cum cannon. This actually comes. This is one of the rare tools that Ironhide has that he uses a bunch. How would you like a mouthful of liquid nitrogen, you asshole?
Actually, fun fact, the cum cannon is what turns Starscream into Thundercracker. He gets frozen, and when he gets unfrozen, he's Thundercracker now.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Let's see. I think that
the same thing happens to Rumble. He also gets frozen.
Yes, but he does not turn into Frenzy, who just is not in the show.
Don't worry about it.
Reflector blinds them.
Yeah, but then he just gets blasted.
Yeah, and then I believe this is the first appearance of Trailbreaker's force fields.
Yes.
And they literally
become more relevant on
yes.
Cybertron.
And they literally just drive through the space bridge and drive past Shockwave, who just goes, Autobots!
Yeah.
And then he gets his feet stuck to the floor with fucking liquid cement.
Yeah, with cum. Ironhide also uses the cum cannon. This is a very versatile tool.
Let me gunk up your toesies with my load here, Shockwave.
Okay, that wasn't necessary. He uses it to freeze the wall and then just slams through it.
Yeah, in a janky G1 animation way. It kind of just looks like he pushes it over.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, Shockwave. So part one of Megatron's like, oh, let him go to the Cybertron. Shockwave will deal with them. No, he will not. He will get stuck to the floor and spend the next hour and a half trying to unstick himself from the floor.
Yeah, so it's okay. Shockwave has a backup plan. And this is the first appearance we see of the yet unnamed Rainmakers. This includes in G1 Acid Storm, Ion Storm, and Nova Storm, who I believe is later retconned into being Sunstorm.
No, Nova Storm is the blue one. I think Ion Storm is the yellow one who becomes Sunstorm.
Okay. But yeah, so that's obviously...
Or maybe Ion Storm is different, because this guy was really yellow. Sunstorm is more orange.
No. So this guy is different. I'm saying that I believe later on...
Yeah.
In, the series, he become in G1, he becomes the third.
I mean, these guys are... To talk more about the Rainmakers specifically, because, these guys are not characters, and they were not characters for, 15 years, because what happened was, so they have these three uniquely colored Seekers here on Cybertron that have a very specific job, right? And so the fandom kind of latched onto these guys and started wondering, well, who are these guys? And later, some people at Hasbro and Takara saw this and said, if we start increasing the number of characters we have that share Starscream's body type, we could very cheaply make more toys. And so
Hey, do you want to sell some toys?
And so all of the Rainmakers suddenly started getting toys. There is a fucking masterpiece Acid Storm. Who is Acid Storm? Nobody knows. And obviously they show up in Cyberverse later as fully formed characters, but that is far away. They are literally just guys who look cool. Who only and by the way,
they also show up in animated.
That's true. A few of them do. Sunstorm does. Only Sunstorm.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But
Acid Storm doesn't?
No, maybe in supplementary materials.
I thought he was one of them.
No, I don't think he was one. He's not. He's definitely not one of the clones. You might be thinking of Oil Slick, who's similarly grody.
That's stupid. They should have just used Acid Storm.
So, but yeah, these are Rainmakers. They appear for 3 minutes in one episode of the G1 cartoon, and 25 years later, you can buy a $120 extremely detailed toy of them. So
there's also like lore that goes along with them now. Again,
yes.
I can't remember where it was because it certainly wasn't the G1 cartoon. Who gives a shit about that?
Or any contemporary sources from that time. This is all shit that like people made up in the like early 2000s, pretty much.
Yeah, I can't remember when this became, but it is I'm fairly certain canon that once the lore started to develop for them, that part of that lore was that they are Starscream clones,
right?
That Shockwave created, to help defend Cybertron, basically, because otherwise it was literally just him.
All of this is to say that Megatron calls these guys and says, "Go make some acid rain," and they do.
Well, no, what he says is, "Make it rain, make it acid rain."
Lame. Work on your fucking one-liner, Megatron. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So
it's really good. They
get to Wheeljack's lab and they very easily break in. I don't really know why they needed Chip for this. It's very funny watching, I think it's Ironhide just holding Chip's wheelchair up to the fucking keypad so he can press the big buttons.
Yeah, literally, like, when they were all planning this, they're like, gee, if only we had someone... Oh, that's why, because the Decepticons had locked it. Right? So they needed someone to hacker voice get in.
And I guess they just don't have... Like, they don't have any, like, hacking guys. It's just Chip.
No. Nope. So Chip's like, I guess I'm gonna pick a lock.
And of course, don't worry, he can breathe fine on Cybertron. I'm not really sure why. It's fine. It doesn't look like it has an atmosphere at all, but you know.
It's an oxygen-rich environment, actually, yeah.
It's very oxygen-rich. In fact, he's probably breathing even better than he is on Earth. Anyway, everyone gets really wet.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the
debilitatingly wet.
The Rainmakers have one job based upon their name. Can you guess what it is? It's to make acid rain, and that's what they do. And yeah,
and like it's really funny because I can understand like everyone starts kind of sparking and but they just it just seems like it almost just kind of makes them tired and depressed. Like it doesn't really hurt them.
Yeah, it's kind of a dirge thing. Chip is fine, by the way.
It doesn't affect him at all.
He's totally fine. He's good. Acid don't do shit to him.
It's a very specific kind of acid that only hurts living
exactly. The non-flesh corrosive kind.
Yeah. And everyone's just like doing the fucking Family Guy holding your leg pose on the ground and going like, oh. It's like they got hit by Perona's fucking devil fruit from One Piece. Like, I wish I was never born. Oh, we fucked up so bad. Optimus is gonna die.
Yeah, so like Bumblebee's like, I'm sorry, Chip. We failed. And I guess they're watching. Yeah, they're watching it. The Decepticons are watching this and they're like, fuck yeah, Optimus is gonna die for real. And Starscream's like, cool, great. Now, because like the whole time he's been like that Optimus has been like in disrepair. He's like, okay, we didn't finish him off, fair enough, but he's like fucked right now. Why don't we just go attack him? And Megatron's like, you're an idiot and you don't understand my grand plan. Now lose on purpose. And Starscream's like, okay. But like now he's like, okay, they're done. They're debilitated. They can't get this part. Optimus is gonna die. Can we please attack the Autobots now and get rid of them? And Megatron comes over to him, runs a hand gently down his arm, and goes, for one, Starscream, I agree with you. It's a weird motion.
It is. It does look really weird. So yeah, they fly out. This line is so fucking...
The one from Chip?
Yeah,
please. Oh my god. So yeah, it flies back. So they fly out to to hit the Autobot base. But meanwhile, back on Cybertron, everyone is miserable, and Chip's like, you gotta get up, you gotta keep going. And Bumblebee's like, we can't, Chip, we're fully disabled. And Chip looks at him and goes, No one's ever really disabled as long as he has courage.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you.
Oh god, what a like perfect encapsulation of like 80s PSA disability justice
It is
perspective. Like,
and that makes Trailmaker remember, wait, I have force fields.
I'm an outlier. Oops. Yeah, he puts up a force field. Ironhide like shoots the Rainmakers. The Rainmakers say fuck this and leave, and everyone immediately gets instantly better.
They just shoot the clouds away. They just shoot at the rain and it stops. Like they drive by the Rainmakers and then it's fine, I guess. Everyone's fine. They have the Cosmotron, and this is so fucking funny. We cut back to Shockwave's fucking house, and he's trying to unstick this mysterious fourth reflector from the floor. He's like, hang on, don't move, I'll get you. And then right after he does it, the Autobots drive through again.
Yeah, he has a line as they go in. It's like, you won't be returning to Earth in one piece at least. Or something towards that nature, and he shoots at them. He's a really bad shot for a gunformer.
Yeah.
It's probably the lack of depth perception, but...
Why can't I hit any of them? It's as though they are several feet away from my perception of them.
Yeah. He gets, like, Ironhide in the wheel or whatever, or maybe Trailbreaker. He gets, like, one of them in the wheel, but it's not particularly effective as they zip back to Earth.
No, he really doesn't do shit. Meanwhile, the Decepticons are rolling up, and all the Autobots have just given up. They're like, well, we're fucked. Optimus Prime isn't here, so, like, we can't do anything.
Yeah, all of them are like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Huffer was right.
Yeah, it's like, my guess we'll die, and Spike goes, no, we gotta fight, even if our truck dad isn't here, and he grabs a gun and runs out the door, and everyone's like...
A gun that is larger than he is.
It's so big.
How is he able to move this?
I don't know. It must be a very light, shitty gun.
It's a foam replica.
Yeah, and so they just run out there and decide to fight the Decepticons, and it doesn't go very well.
They get their asses beat. Holy shit. My favorite shot of all of this is Sideswipe at one point, like, jumps into the air to, like, tackle, and Megatron just, like, skeet shoots him out of the sky.
Yeah, he gets fucking his ass beat. Like, we just see, like, Prowl and someone else get shot down by Rumble, I think. It's like by, like, Rumble and Soundwave. And my favorite thing is then Spike starts getting mauled by Ravage.
Yeah. He's like, bad kitty, and then gets, torn apart, I would think.
Yeah, he should be like a bunch of fucking viscera on the rocks at this point. But thankfully, Bumblebee shows up.
Oh yeah, Bumblebee shows up first.
Yeah, Bumblebee and Chip show up, and they've got the part, and they gotta go bring it to Wheeljack and Ratchet, who gotta put it into prime.
Yeah. And as Wheeljack and Ratchet are doing instant surgery.
Yeah, they just shove it right in there.
Yeah, it's like the inner components of Cybertronians are actually just like Legos. They just click into place.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah, on the battlefield, the Decepticons have like handily won. And there's like this weird sort of feeling of like, oh, hey, we did it.
Yeah, they're just like, well, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah, and so, Megatron's there lording it over all of them, being like, well, like, no one is going to get in my way of ruling the universe. And Starscream sort of like beside him, arms crossed, but like not that mad about it. He's like, yeah, okay, cool, we won, great. And he's like, yes, there's no one who dares challenge me now. And from the cliffs we hear, I challenge you.
Shit, it's time for Optimus and Megatron to have a really, really shitty version of their duel from the movie.
Grandpa fight.
It's so funny looking.
Oh, one of the other things that I should have mentioned throughout this. So, again, rare Starscream W's throughout this episode. As the fight goes on, like, Megatron's just sort of playing around with the Autobots, and Starscream's like, Megatron, you gotta stop, you're wasting energy. Like, we're winning, but we don't have the energy to do this, sustained. And so Megatron's like, then I'll finish them off with one shot, and pours a ton of energy into his fusion cannon. This will come back later. Yeah, so Starscream's like, well, Megatron, he accepted your challenge, and based on the honor of the duel, you gotta fight him one-on-one. Have fun, buddy.
Yeah, like, he's like, well, I mean, you gotta fucking, you gotta do it, right? Like, I mean, if you're the leader, you know, you gotta accept the challenge. And of course... I mean,
you're not a pussy, Lord Megatron.
And of course, he gets his ass beat bad, so bad. And
because he'd used all his energy up.
And he gets thrown down a cliff and lands right next to Starscream and just goes, damn, maybe you're not actually best for leader.
What is incredible about this moment is that Starscream doesn't try to claim leadership.
Yeah, no, he's like, he's just sort of like, maybe you're not the best choice. I'm not gonna say who is. But I can imply.
I think he does say you're not, like, I'm the only right choice for leader anyway.
But he doesn't. He doesn't do the whole Megatron has fallen.
Yeah, and instead, what he does, quite interestingly, is that, okay, we're retreating. Someone grab our glorious leader.
Yeah, they'll leave.
Peace out.
So, yeah, and everyone's like, yay, Optimus Prime is back, and that's the end of the episode. That's it. Yeah. He's fine.
Rare Starscream W. Good for him. Good for him.
On to the debut of some of the most iconic characters in all of
them. Though not all of them.
Not all of them.
There's two, including my favorite boy.
It's time for SOS Dinobots. So we start out here. And the Autobots are investigating some, like, tremors in the Ark, and they think it's like, what if it's Rumble up to his old tricks again? But it's just a cave. And inside the cave, bones!
Disgusting.
Specifically dinosaur bones. And all the Autobots are like, holy shit, what the fuck is this?
They don't even recognize fuel. What kind of cars are they?
God. And especially Wheeljack is like, these things rule. And Spike tells them all what dinosaurs are, and then he takes them all to the museum to look at more dinosaurs.
We're just like, oh shit, this is perfect. Ratchet and I were just thinking about adopting.
So they go to the museum, and, like, Hound, first of all, this is a fucking gigantic museum if the Autobots can just walk around in here.
Okay, to be fair, a lot of natural history museums are actually that vaulted.
That's true.
Especially if they have, like, dinosaur bones, because dinosaurs are quite tall.
That's true. You're right. So yeah, I guess it makes sense.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the American Museum of Natural History, which is my go-to.
But most museums don't have doors that big.
That's true.
Maybe they came in through the loading dock.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they transform through the store. They do, like, the half transformation to wedge themselves through. Put their arms out and then sort of turn. Yeah.
They just gotta, like, kind of rotate their bodies right to fit through.
Yeah.
So Hound scans all the dinosaurs and makes some, like, dinosaur holograms for everybody. And Wheeljack's like, these things rule. Hey, Dad, can I make some robot dinosaurs? And Optimus Prime literally just goes, yeah, sure, why not? Sounds fun.
So there's two things I want to talk about before we get to this part. One is, as they're going through the museum, there's a couple of punks at the entrance.
Yes, I love this guy.
And as it's Trailbreaker, I believe, walks past them, one of them looks at him and goes, and you just see, the animation is actually quite fun here, where you just see the sort of stomp of Trailbreaker's foot on the ground next to them. This guy looks up and goes, now that's what I call heavy metal.
Yeah, I like that guy.
And then the other part is, and this is important, Spike is explaining what the dinosaurs are like to everyone, and he goes, yeah, they were really large, but they actually had tiny brains. And Wheeljack goes, tiny brains?
I'll make sure to save that for later. So, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
He's like, can I make some robot dinosaurs, Dad? And he goes, yeah, why not? Seems great.
You want grandkids, right?
Yeah.
Ratchet and I have been trying.
Sure, just go for it. What could possibly go wrong? Meanwhile, Soundwave and Reflector are casing a dam. And I really love this random guy with his family touring the dam who just it like Soundwave kind of snakes a microphone up to him, and he just goes randomly, as long as the water keeps flowing, the generators will keep making electricity. Great. Also,
this is like the same plot. Like, we know how hydroelectric dams work. This is
literally
the same plot of the second episode.
One of the first places you guys went was a dam. Did you forget? But yeah, like it's
the Transformers was 1984 was actually a secret propaganda for renewable energy.
Damn, it's true. But yeah, like also one other thing, when it's zooming in on this guy in the distance shot, he has like bright red clown hair, and he looks normal when it fully shows him. But I just noticed he has like crazy red hair in the distance shot. But yeah, Soundwave and Reflector fly away, having learned about renewable energy.
Meanwhile, Ratchet and Wheeljack are having a baby shower.
Yeah, I love that in G1 you could just make up a guy. Like, you can just build a guy. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, the thing about the Dinobots, and I think this gets like sort of made more explicitly clear in other series, like animated, for example, they're not supposed to be sentient.
Right.
Wheeljack saw tiny brains and was like, okay, I can make big fuck-ass drones that kick Megatron's ass.
Right.
But unfortunately, he played God.
He just made dinosaurs. He just made fucking dinosaurs that can breathe fire.
Again, I said at the beginning of this season that Shockwave in other continuities doesn't do anything that Wheeljack and Ratchet don't do in this continuity, and this is sort of what I'm speaking about.
Yep. Lots of just Wheeljack makes all sorts of fucked up devices and all throughout G1. It's like literally half of the episodes of this show is the Decepticons got their hands on Wheeljack's new fucked up war crimes device.
He never means for it to be a war crimes device. He's like, I want to make a machine that puts even amounts of peanut butter and jelly on bread.
How was I supposed to know it would explode? Wheeljack, you powered it with like nuclear fusion.
How was I supposed to know it would drown people hideously with jelly? Like
he's just trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they build the Dinobots and they show them off, and I really love Huffer. Like, they present them at first in robot mode, which, by the way, Grimlock looks really fucked up in this episode. Like, his head looks weird.
It's a little square.
Yeah.
He looks a little too much like Slag.
Yeah.
Or Slug, I guess. Well, I'm calling him Slag in this series.
In this one.
I'm calling him Slag in G1.
Yeah, so the three Dinobots, the three original Dinobots.
With apologies to English sex workers.
The three original Dinobots are this fucking slutty Triceratops, and then Sludge, the Brontosaurus, as they say,
yep.
And Grimlock, of course. Everyone knows and loves Grimlock. We all love Grimlock.
My favorite part of this is that, I mean, the Dinobots were created as war crime machines, because Wheeljack looked at a T-Rex and goes, damn, that's a lot of teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That would whip ass.
And so, yeah, the thing is, yes, they recreated dinosaurs pretty well, including the part where they just kind of run around and smash shit.
And also breathe fire. You know how dinosaurs breathe fire?
Yeah, they breathe fire and shoot lasers from their eyes and horns, and they just start, like, wrecking the Ark. They just start beating the shit out of everyone. I really like the bit where Ironhide is getting fucked up and Trailbreaker just goes, ha, bet you wish you had some fucking force fields on now, bud. And he just force fields himself.
That's pretty good. You also didn't finish saying the line from Huffer, which is a really good line.
Oh, yes, yeah, when they first showed the Dinobots, he goes, Dinobots, huh? I thought you were supposed to make robot dinosaurs. And Wheeljack goes, how about you sit down and shut the fuck up, you little dweeb. Check this out.
The look, I have to say, the look that Wheeljack gives Huffer for not having a mouth is scathing.
Like, I have never seen someone who cannot emote with their face look so fucking done with somebody.
But yeah,
anyway, Huffer would be such a fucking irritating pedant on Twitter. Huffer is such a well-actually guy.
Yeah, he would definitely do some dick riding too.
Oh, he's a fucking Elon Musk reply guy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. He wants to become a Tesla.
I'm glad he died off screen in Transformers the movie.
One of my favorite shots as the Dinobots are wrecking shop here is, I think, a shot that's just actually really fun perspective, actually, of, like, Wheeljack holding out a hand.
Oh, yeah.
To try to, like, calm them down, but instead it just looks like Wheeljack's yowie hands.
He does have yowie hands in that shot. He's doing the fucking Jurassic World pose.
Yeah, that's where they got it from. Now we know why Chris Pratt does it.
Yeah.
Now we know they got it from Wheeljack trying to calm down the Dinobots. There you go.
This goes very badly. Grimlock fucking blows up Teletran 1. And at this point, Optimus is like, okay, we need to kill these motherfuckers. Destroy the Dinobots right now. And Wheeljack's like, no, please, my babies.
Well, Wheeljack is able to, like, disable them.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, and then Optimus is like, okay, yeah, no, we gotta destroy them. And Wheeljack's like, no, Optimus, I did the crime of bringing them into this world. Please, it's not their fault. And then Optimus goes, fine, we're going to bury them in a cave forever.
Yeah, they just tie them up and cave in the cave they found the bones in. And they're like, well, no one can ever go in there again, and we're never going to reactivate them again. Meanwhile, the dam is getting ransacked, and the workers are trying to call Teletran 1, which is, of course, currently offline. So the Decepticons are just running around getting all the energy they need.
The vibes between Megatron and Starscream in this episode are immaculate, by the way. It's like aging businessmen trying to impress the 20-year-old he wants to have an affair with.
Yeah.
And like everything, and it's like he's like so like Starscream's so judgmental and so unimpressed with Megatron throughout it, and Megatron keeps trying to impress him, and it's so funny.
God, it's just like, yeah, look at all this fucking infinite energy. Starscream is like, yeah, it's alright, I guess.
Yeah, Starscream's like, great, and it's like, and there's like a part, they're like standing on front of the waterfall, that is, you know, powering the dam, and like Megatron is like, aren't you like impressed with like this endless supply? And the Starscream's like, yeah, and looks at his nails and goes, endless until we get interrupted by the Autobots. And Megatron's just like, well, I have a surprise from them. Just shut up.
I have a plan. I can deal with it. So yeah, he starts setting up a little trap for the Autobots once they show up. So everyone heads up to the dam except for Bumblebee, Wheeljack, and Ratchet, who all stay behind. Everyone else goes, though. And they get super fucked up by the Decepticons because, alright, now, Megatron plugs the dam's circuitry, like, into his fusion cannon. And you may think, well, surely he's going to shoot at the Autobots with that. No. It's something way stupider. What he does is that he has Rumble destabilize the cliff they're standing on, and then he shoots the cliff and knocks them all into the river, which does disable them this time. They get wet, and it does work.
And again, my favorite part of this is, again, Starscream in this, like, really bitchy, unimpressed, like, voice goes, and so what now, mighty Megatron? surely a little bath has not rid us of our Autobot problem.
And he goes, fine, we'll go get them and tie them up and shoot them all. Does that make you happy?
My favorite part of it is that Starscream, for the first time in this entire series, this is the first time someone has been like, I don't think they're dead.
Yeah, usually he is the one who's going, I know he's totally dead. He was doing that literally last episode where Megatron's like, did you kill him? And he goes,
no,
yeah,
100%.
He's super dead.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, I don't think they're dead.
Well, it's because they know, because they also got dunked in the ocean and they were fine.
Right,
so he's like, listen, Megatron, we know
not to be saucy here, but they get wet every night.
we're all wet down here, Megatron.
So like Megatron's like, we're gonna finish them off. Starscream, shut up.
Shut up. We'll go get them. Spike sees all of this. Spike and Bumblebee see all of this and go, oh shit. Also Optimus tells Wheeljack, never ever reactivate the Dinobots again or I'll never forgive you. But at this point, Spike and Bumblebee are like, well, we gotta. What else can we do? So they go back there, and I guess they make, like, better brains for the Dinobots.
Wheeljack makes very cool headbands, and Spike's like, so what did those do? And Wheeljack goes, they'll make them smarter and easier to control, I hope.
Surely they will be very cooperative and won't become a sort of rogue faction within our own ranks and be very uncooperative and combative with us.
So they dig them out, they put on these headbands, and Wheeljack's like, hey, who wants to save your oppressors?
And Sludge literally just goes, I guess. Sure, why not?
And Grimlock's like, this time.
Yeah, this time. Not a whole lot of Grimlock talking in this episode, which is interesting.
No, we don't get a single meet Grimlock, which is
I think we gotta wait till
sad.
I think we gotta wait until the next episode for that, because that's where he's like beefing with Prime. Is the next episode, so I'm sure that's where we'll get like me Grimlock King shit. But they fly off. By the way, the Dinobots can fly. The Dinobots can fly. That is something they can do. And
apparently so can Wheeljack in this episode.
Maybe he grabbed fucking Sideswipe's backpack or a jetpack.
Maybe.
But yeah, so we see that the Autobots are all tied up.
Blooptimus Prime.
Yeah.
Why is he blue?
He's blue.
Why is he blue?
It is a I have never seen an animation error go for this is a 3-second shot and he is completely blue the entire time. It
is like,
come on, guys.
I feel like what must have happened is that someone just didn't paint a layer.
Yeah, like this is his leg layer.
Like, no, seriously, like that they just like didn't paint a layer with his model in the shot. I don't know what it was, but like he's blue. Just blue.
Why hasn't eHobby made like a fucking lucky draw figure of this one yet? Blooptimus Prime. So yeah, they're getting ready to execute the fucking Autobots. They're tied up to a cliff and they're getting ready to shoot them all, Chicago style here. But Dinobots show up and they fuck the Decepticons up. So
this is one of the most notorious, unlike last episode, this is one of the most notorious instances of Starscream attempting to claim leadership
this is the one where
the
Megatron
Decepticons.
Literally just falls over and he goes, Megatron has fallen. I, Starscream, now lead the Decepticons.
Megatron literally just gets discombobulated.
Yeah.
Like, it's like someone clapped really loud next to him and he like loses his balance and falls over. Now, is Starscream wrong for claiming leadership of the Decepticons here? Yes. But the Decepticons are also wrong for all following him.
They all just do it. And then immediately he gets shot out of the sky. Instantly. Like, instantly Starscream gets owned by fucking Slag. It's amazing.
I will say, the best own of this fight is Grimlock biting Skywarp.
Yes, and just shaking him around like a dog.
Yeah, so Skywarp comes in and he's also again following in Starscream's general bitchy behavior, like unimpressed bitchy behavior throughout the entire episode. The Dinobots arrive, and Starscream immediately looks at Megatron and goes, "Well, you're supposed to know everything. What are those?" And Megatron's like, scrap metal when we're finished with them. And that's when he gets got by Grimlock, and Starscream is going to be, the leader. But basically every one of the Decepticons is like, okay, we don't know what these things are, but we're going to fuck them up. And Skywarp, and being particularly cocky amongst the Decepticons, goes in to like strafe him and just gets bit right on the wing and flung into Soundwave. It's great.
And yeah, the Decepticons have been entirely dealt with, and they all just run away.
Oh, well, okay, there's one last thing that happens before they run away, which
yes,
I want to
that's
know,
right.
which is that Megatron's like, okay, actually, fuck this. He transforms into the P-38. But Starscream's in his jet mode. Can't hold him. So the gun just flies up to be on the bottom of Starscream? Huh?
Yeah, it just like magnetizes to his like chassis or whatever.
Yeah, to his body, and Megatron and Starscream can do that? Hello?
Sure, why not? Why? You know what? It's not weirder than anything else that happens in this show. But then Wheeljack they just threw all of the Autobots' guns in a pile like a few feet away. So Wheeljack goes to fucking grab some, and
he grabs blue streakers and
side swipes. It's like he's like
side swipes,
flare gun will warm you up, and blue streak's bolt blaster will give you a jolt of energy.
Wheeljack be like, does dangerous experiments on friends with no regard for safety.
I mean, it works. They're fine. I guess they were like stunned. I don't really know.
The thing with most of Wheeljack's stuff is that it does technically work.
Yeah, it mostly works. It's just you don't want it to most of the time. But yeah, the Decepticons retreat, and Optimus is like, well, maybe the Dinobots are all right, and I won't regret that at all.
Yeah, and they definitely don't hold a grudge against us.
No.
For locking them in a cave forever.
No, not at all. But yeah, that's the end of the SOS Dinobots. That's the debut of the Dinobots. So we've got a few questions here. We've got 2 on Twitter.
Yahoo!
One of them is from Z Paladin at Mami Amcha. If the Dinobots got vehicle modes too, in parentheses, I don't know if they ever have, this pod is my only Transformer source, what vehicles do you think they'd all get?
Who is that from?
That is from at Mama Yamcha on Twitter, Z Paladin.
Oh, okay.
In some continuities, the Dinobots start out as not dinosaurs. Sometimes they're called the Dinobots, D-Y-N-A.
Stupid.
It's very stupid, but usually they just transform into like tanks and stuff. Like I would imagine that all of the Dinobots would transform into heavy duty vehicles, right? Like they're a fucking strike force.
I mean, if they even turn it, I mean, they asked specifically about vehicle modes. So,
yeah. Like they would just be like tanks and off-road vehicles. Swoop would be a fucking
jet.
VTOL jet or something.
Yeah.
And hold my ooh Cassidy at What Is Cosplay on Twitter asks, give us your best dino roars.
No, I'm sorry.
That'll be a Patreon bonus. You can pay us to do dino roars. Now
I don't have much dignity, but I have that much.
Now onto the Discord.
Actually, sorry, I need to be right back.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. So on to questions in the Discord. We've got a few here. Dick Wielding Menace, Daphnis of the Discord asks, are Ratchet and Wheeljack PTA mom material now that they made the Dinobots? Yeah. Pretty much.
They're the diversity, the DEI team.
Exactly. God, I would not trust Wheeljack's cooking. If considering his activities in the lab, just imagine what disasters could happen in the kitchen.
I guess, given Ratchet throughout continuities and his ability to make synthen or whatever, I might trust Ratchet. Ratchet's
definitely got a microbrewery going on in there.
No, Ratchet makes edibles.
Oh, fuck yes. Aurora, number 1 Ravage Enjoyer, asks, what incredibly bland task would you get a giant robot to perform?
Just like household chores.
A giant robot?
Yeah. Listen, I don't care about the size if you can clean my house.
But like, I guess so. All
right, a giant robot. Like traffic control.
Yes. Oh, that'd be nice. Just like directing, like a fucking 30-foot tall robot directing traffic.
Yeah. No more. We don't need another lane. We need a 30-foot tall.
That's what I've been saying.
We need a 30-foot tall robot directing traffic.
Oh, what would I have it do? Maybe park my car for me. Like just pick it up and put it somewhere nice. I hate parking my car, so if I just put it in the most convenient spot possible, I'll just get out and let him lift it up. Or I'll just have it lifted up while I'm in it and just chill.
Pretty good.
From Matrix of Leader Thick, Sam in the Discord. If you suddenly had 3 sons and they needed a set of names, think Huey, Dewey, and Louie, what would you choose?
3
names.
I mean, I have 2, because mine are Figaro, Don Juan, and Don Juan. When I got Fig, I wanted to get a name that could be a theme so that I could name other cats after that theme, and I chose operas.
Ah.
So if you gave me the option to include girls as well, that would include things like Carmen and Valkyrie.
There you go. Yeah, I feel like Figaro, Don Juan, and Carmen is a good trio there.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't thought about this. I should have read ahead on the questions because now I'm unprepared. And all I can think about is Huey, Dewey, and Louie because they were the examples given.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta say it's weird that it's Sludge, Slag, Swoop, Snarl, and Grimlock. He's a special boy. He doesn't get an alliterative name. Let's go with I've always liked. Let's go to Lock, Stock, and Barrel. There we go.
I knew you were gonna. I almost thought about doing that too, but I was like, no, I can't be that bad. I can't show my hand. I can't show my hand that badly.
They're my terrible boys. And finally, from Black Riding Yellow Bot, what if those 3 sons were also large in metal? Hey, Lock, Stock, and Barrel is a very sort of robot-aligned trio of names. So,
in that case, I would say, Gadget, Gizmo, and Widget.
Oh, that's good. I like that. If you were, and this is also from Black Riding Love Bot, if you were to throw a birthday party for your 3 large metal sons, who you have just named, would you invite the 3 small fleshy sons from across the road? I feel like that's a hazard. I mean, unless they were supervised.
In G1, of course they'd be supervised. They're my sons.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, in G1, they're constantly endangering humans literally all the time, so...
No, they're fine.
As long as they have their hard hats. Listen, as long as they wear their hard hats, they can do whatever they want.
And their high-vis vests, yeah.
Their hard hats, their khaki shirts, and their jeans, they can do whatever they want. That's the uniform for
fucking humans. Around and finding out.
Exactly. And finally, what would the party look like? Not Twister. That's probably not a good idea.
I think it would probably be Smash.
Yeah, listen, kids can play Smash for hours.
Maybe I'd get one of those DDR mats.
No, that's also asking for trouble, I think.
DDR mats, but the large metal sons have to do it with their fingers. Like, what's it called? A trip deck?
Yes. Actually, I like that, actually, yes. Yeah, we'll get this party set up for these large metal sons and these 3 small fleshy sons.
It's a neighborhood block party. It'll be great.
Exactly. But while we get that set up,
the whole PTA will be there.
This is what a beautiful vision of community we've created here. Ratchet and Wheeljack hosting a community block party with their giant metal sons. They do still breathe fire in this, by the way. The Dinobots all have all the abilities they already do.
Oh yeah.
So with that, we've been Prime Cuts. I'm Nero. You can follow me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher. You can follow my various other projects in various other places, such as Radio Free Heidelin, the Final Fantasy XIV podcast with my friend Jane at Heidelin Radio. We have finished with the main scenario quest of A Realm Reborn 2.0 anyway. The post stuff is still coming down the pipeline, but everything within like A Realm Reborn proper, we've covered it as far as the main quest goes. So hey, this is the perfect time to catch up. Also with her, I did a podcast about She-Ra that is @podcastpower on Twitter, and I am on Disney Minus from time to time at Disney Minus Pod talking about wretched Disney films. Last one was Ratatouille. That was a good one. I liked Ratatouille. Next one is Santa Buddies 2. So probably won't be as good if I had to guess. But yeah, that's where my stuff is.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, and co-host at Optimum on Prime. You can also listen to the other podcast I do called Pod of Greed, which you can find on Twitter at Pod of Greedcast. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We have one last episode of GX to record this week, and then we are on to card games on motorcycles.
5Ds is so close.
It's very, very close. Also, you can stay tuned for more information about an audio drama that I've been cast in the pilot of. I don't have more information for you all right now, but it should be forthcoming, hopefully, either, if not by the end of the year, then I would say sometime around the beginning of the new year. So, yeah, it's exciting stuff.
And of course, you can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod. We should probably make a Tumblr somewhere. I am also on Tumblr. Yeah. I never plugged my Tumblr because I never had cause to, but I guess if you want to follow me over there, I'm at Cyclonus, but the S is replaced with a 5 because there's some fucking asshole squatting on Cyclonus.
Are they using it?
No, they aren't.
Oh, that's awful.
I've checked. You do trust me, I have checked.
At least write it, you asshole.
At least write it, you asshole. But yeah, we are at PrimeCutsPod on Twitter. Hey, join the Discord. We're gonna try to do some more Jackbox nights soon.
We had a really fun Jackbox night last week.
Look,
we also ranked. We also figured out what wine.
What wine each Transformers Prime character would drink / and or is. It was kind of unclear, but we did it.
It's definitive, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. The geniuses at the Discord have locked it in. And of course, after we finish this season and a little bit of a holiday break in January, we will be watching Dark of the Moon at some point.
Listen, the worst is behind us now.
Yeah, that's true. God, Revenge of the Fallen was bad.
I won't say it's only up from here because it goes up again and then down immediately.
Yeah, it's generally up, but not really dramatically. Just kind of.
I mean, the last night's pretty atrocious, but
I'm excited to see it. I have never seen it before. I can't wait to see how bad it is.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, until next time, I am going to get attacked by Autobots in my very own base, miss every single shot I fire, and get my feet stuck to the floor and just kind of stand there like an idiot.
I'm gonna make it rain. Make it acid rain. Transform and roll out.
Peach.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than